Hello everyone, today is Tuesday, August 4th. It's 3:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's about 45 minutes before the regular session close. You can see my computer clock on my right with the date and time, and on my left is the time it sales, the Emini S&P, currently trading at 28.97. Really great day for the auto trader. First up is the Nasdaq on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this has an open long trade. As you can see here, we have a closed P&L of 1450 and an open P&L of about 400 or so. And here are the trades here. There was a couple of losers you can see on the equity curve here, and it looks like we had an equity high of 2000, and then we're trying to get back there. The goal on this is probably 2500, I'm guessing 2250. So we came really close to our goal here. It's a pretty aggressive daily goal. Certainly, you could go less. $2,000 daily goal really would require an account of, $25,000 to $50,000 or more. If your account is $20,000 or less, I wouldn't be shooting for $2,000 daily goal. I'd be going for maybe 500 to 750. Maybe 1,000 perhaps in daily goals. Daily goals really should be a measure of the size of your account. And a lower daily goal obviously is less risk, because less exposure in the market is less risk. So with a higher daily goal, you're in the market longer and you have more exposure. Anyway, excellent performance on this chart, which we have seen quite a bit. Okay, next up is the DAX on the Renko 14 tick, and this is the one with the $3,500 goal. The DAX has been on fire this week, and this chart is no exception here. It looks like we drew down about 400 per contract here, not before making an equity high of about 1,500. So pretty volatile today on this chart. You can see we had quite a few trades. But after it had this drawdown, it came back pretty strong and came within a few $100s of its goal and stopped trading because of time. Okay, next up is the Emini S&P on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi tick chart. And one of the things about the BWT indicators is you could conceivably trade them without anything else. These are just our indicators. The auto trader plots the indicator because it relies on it, but with our line break signals, and there's just some excellent signals here. Certainly I could use a little tighter sensitivity, but for the auto trader, I have the sensitivity kind of loose. This is the Emini S&P on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this had a short and a long back-to-back and did 1287 for the day. So one tick of slippage on its goal of 1,300. This is using our line break logic. And once again, really great signals here on the indicators and great performance on the Emini S&P. Okay, the DAX on the regular Renko 14 tick, and this hit its goal of 2,000 with a tick of slippage, and it had a little bit lesser drawdown, only about 150 per contract, than the other chart, because we have slightly different settings. We have tighter stops, and that paid off on this chart with lower risk and lower drawdown, and then we came back and hit our goal. And one thing I've noticed on the DAX is usually the better part of the trading is done within the first couple of hours of trading from the London Open, which is 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, great indicator signals on the mid-cap on 150 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this did 1220 for the day on a single trade. This has a goal of 1,500, so shy of our goal, and it's a limit order with a 6-tick pullback. Okay, really strong performance on the DAX, as stated earlier. This is a 34 Heikin-Ashi tick chart, and this is good for a smaller account, as we're not going for bigger moves. Notice all these smaller trades and relatively tight stops. You can see the equity curve here We only had a couple of losers here, and here was a losing trade. Not a big dip in the equity curve, same here. And for the most part, it was a lot of winners and looks like maybe 3 losers. So I'm going to widen this up, and you can see some of the winning trades here. Looks like I got the money management pretty good on here, you know, catching these swings. And let's take a look at what we have. We have a limit order with only a 2-tick pullback, and our first target is 10 ticks and a stop of 22 ticks, and we're trailing by percentage profit. You know, when you trail by percentage profit, you lock in the amount of profit once you hit, in this case, 30 ticks. I'm trailing by 15%. That's only 4 or 5 ticks. 15% of 30 is 4.5. So a pullback of 4 or 5 ticks would take me out of the trade. But that is on the highest profit achieved. So if the market goes to 35 ticks, then it's 15% of 35. And in this case here, once I hit 40 ticks, I'm trailing by a bar. So looks like I might have got trail stopped out by the bar right here. In any case, this chart has a pretty aggressive profit goal, but something like this chart here would be suitable for a smaller account with a single contract and a smaller goal. It didn't take much to hit $500, just a couple of trades right here. In the first couple of minutes of trading, it was at $500, and then $900 here in the first half hour of trading. And that can be done in the DAX fairly quickly. I won't say easily, but with a smaller account, a chart like this would be suitable, as it has smaller swings. And that means you could trade with much tighter risk parameters, smaller stop, and so forth. Okay, the DAX on a 377 Heikin-Ashi chart had a single trade and hit its goal, and a lot more room to go, at least twice the distance here easily. There could have been a lot more here. So pretty impressive on the 377 Heikin-Ashi tick chart here, and pretty nice signals, accepting a little bit of a vibration here in this sideways market. Okay, next up is the EMIN S&P on a 987 tick line break chart, and this had 1 small loser here and 3 winners, and this did 1237 for the day, and our goal on this is 1300, so it hit its goal. And it's our money management that kept us from getting all of this move here. Okay, excellent performance on the crude. This is the crude oil on a Super Renko 7 tick, and there was a minor drawdown here, about 125 per contract, and then we came on to this winning short trade here towards the end of the session, and this brought us up to our goal, which is probably 1200. And that is indeed 1200, so we had a couple of ticks slippage, but a really nice trade here, and great indicator signals on the Super Renko bars. Okay, the gold contract on a 233 Heikin-Ashi chart did 1250 for the day, and that's half of our goal, so this is an aggressive daily goal for this chart. But nevertheless, pretty nice looking trades. Looking at the equity curve, we had only 1 small loser here and then 1 at the end here, and it was this trade here that was responsible for most of the gains, and this was a short trade. And here, notice I have the precision trend filter off because we took a short trade on a blue bar, so this was within the rules, and so I have this off, and also on the exits, the precision trend exit is off, so it's not exiting. Well, it wouldn't exit here because it's already short, but you do have the option to ignore signals just because a bar turned blue or red. So really nice performance here on the gold. Okay, next is the crude oil on a 150 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this did 1,090 for the day. Looking at our equity curve, it was moderately active. We had a drawdown here of about 150 per contract, and we ultimately came up and made an equity high of about 1250 here, and this has a goal of a very aggressive goal of 2550. Okay, the crude oil on our precision Renko 8 150 had 3 winners back-to-back here and brought it back from a deficit of about minus 500 or 600 to finish at 980. I think the goal on this is 1,000. So yeah, these 3 trades recovered a drawdown to hit its goal. And if I tighten up the chart, you can see the prior trades here. This is using our line break logic. Okay, the EMIN S&P on a Super Renko 6-tick, trading 3 contracts, basically looking for 350 a contract profit. This daily goal on this is 1,000, so more like 325 a contract. And really nice trade, great indicator signals here. This is a limit order with just pulling back 2 ticks. Notice there's a tail on this Super Renko bar, so we got filled on our limit order. Okay, next up is the Nasdaq on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this did 990. The goal on this is 1,000, so this hit its goal with 1 tick of slippage. Okay, a modest gain on the Emini S&P Super Renko 2-tick with a 4-tick higher time frame. Really 450 on this time frame. It's a small time frame, so for smaller accounts this could be suitable. The goal on this is 750, but you can see the higher time frame filter kind of doing its thing, filtering out all these trades here. And anyway, this did 450. That's really more than modest for the Emini S&P. And this is a chart that has been very consistent over time. Okay, the ES on a 2587 Heikin-Ashi chart had a single trade here and did 587.50. The goal on this is 1,050, and fairly modest money management on this. Also using our higher time frame filter of a Super Renko 6. Okay, the DAX on 150 Heikin-Ashi chart did 250 for today, but in the first couple of hours of trading, it made an equity high of 2,000, and our goal on this is 2550. So this is it's a fairly aggressive goal for this chart, and it hits it quite often. But to make an equity high of 2,000 and end up with 250 it really shouldn't happen. But you would have to manually interact with the Autotrader to prevent this, or have a lower goal, and lowering the goal on this chart to 1,000 or 1,500 would not be a crime. Okay, last but not least is the Emini S&P Super Renko trading 2 contracts. The first Super Renko 6-tick chart we showed was trading 3 contracts, and this does not have a daily goal. It just goes, and we are trading 2 contracts, as you can see here, and we have our first target at 15 ticks, and then at 35 bars we're trailing by 0 bars and 7 ticks, and looks like we got stopped out here. So still respectable performance, 550 on the Emini S&P. We will be doing a webinar this week. For those of you that watched the video all the way to the end, I will announce a link tomorrow. Thanks for watching.